Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cub Chat Live. We have a welcome friend of the show from the Cub Scout committee. Tamara, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always such a pleasure to hang out with you and behind the scenes, Brian.
Yes, it's an exciting Friday. We are talking about something that I think is, for a lot of Scouters, actually is one of their favorite topics. And I think that we were going to sing a song about it. No, just kidding. I won't put you on the spot.
Oh no.
No, we were talking about the safety dance before this. Safety in Cub Scouting. I think in a lot of ways it looks like what it does in other programs, but there's a lot of safety to keep in mind with, I think, Cub Scouts that's very specific to that program. Do you think so?
Absolutely. And you know what? Our top job, let's be real, in scouting is to keep our members safe, right? And so to make this in the line of sight of our den leaders, making it easy. I mean, we talk about fun, simple, and easy, but we want to have safety kind of baked in so that it's super, super simple and easy to follow, right? Because we want everyone to be safe.
What's exciting too about talking safety today, at least I think it's the first conversation I've had about safety related to the updates in the Cub Scout program. I mean, that's kind of what we're focused on today, right?
That's right. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be awesome. And I get to hang out with you, so that's even better.
Oh my gosh, you're my favorite guest ever. Don't tell the others. Nobody heard that.
Our secret.
Yeah, no one's watching. No, just kidding. Lots of you are watching. Shout out to Cub Scout Pack 255 from Colorado Springs. Hello, Cub Scout Pack 92 and Pack 84 in New Philadelphia, Ohio. Hello, y'all. Keep those shout outs coming. Keep questions coming if you have them. Tamara's usually very up for questions, so
absolutely,
throw them in. And there's a lot of chances to participate today. We're going to be asking you to help us answer some quiz questions. We actually have a lot of information to get through, so I think we should jump right into it. Tamara's kind of pulled a question that she's seen just to kick us off. A lot of people are saying they're having a hard time. Well, some people are having a hard time getting to the new adventures page. Are there any tips on how to find the new adventures?
Yeah, and I know probably this audience, these guys are rock stars. Let's be real. Like these people, they're amazing. So they probably already figured this out. But in case you have like another leader or parent that's maybe sharing that responsibility to put on an adventure, I'm going to teach you some like kind of quick tips on how to navigate and how you can tell them to navigate. So I have a screen capture. So this is one, there's 3 ways that I think are pretty simple to get to the new adventures. So first of all, I get it. You go to scouting.org and you're like, where on earth is this stuff? So if you go to programs on the top ribbon bar and then Cub Scouts, and then kind of scroll down a little ways, there's a little section on how to register for Cub Scouts. And below that, there's a Cub Scout Adventures icon. It's kind of one of 3. It's in the middle. If you click on that, that'll go straight to the Cub Scout Adventures launch page, which would then have all the ranks. So you can pick your rank and go from there. The second way, which I think is super simple, is I struggle with this. Okay. And the QR code is in the adventure. Like, so if this is Wolf Bobcat, for example, if I clicked on that adventure, it would bring it right up. So that's super easy. And then the last one was there's a QR code that was on that screen. There it goes. That QR code, if you go ahead and take a picture of that, then that, if you go to it, will go straight to the Cub Scout Adventures launch page. And that way you can share it with your friends or somebody who might be helping you out with an adventure or meeting. And you can say, hey, just go here. It's super easy. And then that'll help them have that knowledge for next time.
We love a QR code. I love a QR code.
Yeah, I know, right?
We laugh because when they first came out, it seemed like nobody wanted to use QR codes. And then the pandemic really forced us to start scanning those things. And now we're all doing it. Richard has a comment that leads us into the next question perfectly.
I love it.
Yes, me too. It's the best segue. Pack 32 from Versailles, Kentucky. Hello, Richard.
Hello.
He's loving the new program. It's great that the safety moment is put front and center of the online resources for each adventure. Totally agree. We've been hearing a lot about safety moments for the last at least 5 to longer. You know, our safety director has been producing safety moments for a long time. In the context of the new Cub Scout program, what does a safety moment look like?
So first of all, Richard, you are so on the ball, and I love that about you. The safe checklist. So first of all, I've got a screen capture. So this happens to be lion, bobcat. So you're probably thinking bobcat. That's where we get to know one another. Maybe have a craft project. Maybe make a den doodle. So what kind of safety stuff would we have in this? Like it doesn't seem that risky, or So what would we have? But there are some things in the safety moment, even for this. So I know this is rather small, probably on your screen. So may walk you through it. In the top of each safety moment, there's going to be a BSA safe checklist. That checklist, SAFE, is an acronym because you know how Boy Scouts of America likes acronyms, right, Gina? I mean, a good acronym.
Especially Anthony.
I mean, everybody likes exactly. So it's going to have that. And then it's going to have some more details about, make sure you check the guide to safe scouting if you're doing something extra and you want to make sure that that's safe and age appropriate for the people that you're serving. And then it's going to have the list of things that we think are kind of important for you to note. So in this particular one, we have a video on crafts. And what's really cool through this project, because I've been working on this project for 5 years, and what's really cool about this project is we had all these great, awesome resources just kind of laying around on the different website, and nobody really could find them or piece them together. So what we've tried to do is put everything directly in the line of sight for you so that you can find it and it's easy. So for this example, it has a video for crafts. It tells you how long the video is. So what I love about that is, I don't know if you are like me, when I was a den leader, I was kind of running by the seat of my pants some days, and I needed being able to know that it was going to take me 13 minutes to go through the safety video, help me plan better. So all of the videos tell you exactly how much time they're going to take. And that also helps you that if you're going to have a friend help you with the meeting, they also know exactly how much time they need to get prepared and make sure that you're really safe. So the safety moment, I said every safety moment, and there's a different one for every adventure. You're going to see that BSA safe checklist. So I think we're rolling to our first questions. Okay, everybody get ready. Woo, let's go.
Okay. So if you are watching right now, we've got the question up there and we've got the answers. We'll read through those in just a second. If you know the answer, comment with your letter selection and we'll read some of those live.
So I think Richard's going to get this right. I'm just saying.
I think so. I mean, he's into the safety moments. It's no coincidence that Richard is the same name as our safety director here at National. Okay, so what does the F in SAFE stand for? A lot of you are commenting fitness and skills. Okay, there's also functional, fantastic, familiar surroundings, freeze, and fine tune. I think our audience has it right. They're all guessing C.
We have the smartest people in Cub Scouts in the entire world with us on Cub Chat Live. Every time I think that. So
let's see. Are they right? Behind the scenes, Brian, reveal the answer.
It's very dramatic.
It's a dramatic pause. The next slide should reveal, I think, the answer.
All right. Maybe we're having some kind of a technical thing.
Okay, it is C, right? We're right.
It is C. Good job. I had every confidence that this group would totally know that. So we're gonna, and then if we can move to the next, if the technology will allow us to go to the next thing.
It is fitness and skill. Next, we're gonna dive into that safe checklist.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk the safe checklist, right?
Yes.
So I can just talk through that, and then if our technology allows us, then we'll do this. There's a form, and if the form comes up, I have an example of the form. And one of the things that always people look at the form, and it has a lot of different stuff. So it's supervision is the S, A is assessment. Then you already got fitness and skills for F, and the E stands for equipment and environment. And so what's really cool about this is it just kind of gives you a one-pager. It's not complicated for you to start thinking about, is this going to be safe? What do I need to take into consideration? So I'll give you an example. So most of the time, this should take about 2 minutes before every adventure, right? Because you have a meeting location. So your meeting location for an indoor activity, and your meeting location for an outdoor activity. So I'll give you my example. So when I was a den leader, my meeting location for my big group of 6-year-olds was my living room. Okay. So that was my indoor meeting space. And then when we had great weather and it was wonderful, then we would be able to go outside. Oh, thank you, Brian, the safe checklist. So that little QR code right there, again, I would take a picture of this. And that way you'll always have it on your phone so that you can go to this and go straight to the safe checklist. So I do this for myself because I get confused. So it's good for me to have all this stuff at my fingertips. And it's easy for me to share with other leaders. So in this example, in my living room with these 6-year-old boys, so it was 8 to 10 6-year-old boys in your living room. I know that's kind of scary, isn't it, Gina? I kind of get a little scared just thinking about that. So if I had the safe checklist, which I didn't at the time when I was a den leader, I might have thought about, I had this little alley behind my couch. It had a cord that went to my orb aquarium. Okay. And so normal people in our household and in adults don't walk behind that couch, but see 6-year-old boys do, because they could fit back there really easy, right?
Right.
And it's like a shortcut. So that's cool. But one of them tripped over the BioOrb cable, right? And so Spartacus, my Plecostomus that was in the BioOrb, his tank started flying and I grabbed it as it was getting ready to crash into the floor. No one was hurt, including Spartacus, the Plecostomus, but
what is that? What are you saying?
It's a kind of fish. It has a sucker face on it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's a kind of fish.
I'm not afraid to ask. I didn't know what that meant.
Other people at home might have a Plecostomus.
Let us know. Shout out if you
shout out to everyone who has a Plecostomus. So that would have been something in the safe checklist. I would have thought through. Oh, wow, there's a cable here, and these are 6-year-old boys, and they're definitely going to go behind the couch, and that might be a problem. And the other thing is, so you assess that in that indoor meeting space. That way, every time you go through it, it's like 2 minutes. You're just like, yep, everything's the same, or everything, I'm not added anything new. And then the outdoor space is the same. So then the things that you're end up having to really take a little more time are going to be those situations that are a little more complicated, such as some of the ones we're going to go through, which are knife safety and boating, right? Because when you're on the water, when you're working with knives,
yes,
those are a little more complicated.
And I think a lot of our volunteers have questions on those. I have seen some swimming questions. We're going to go into boating in more detail. If we have time at the end, we will post some swimming related questions and safe swim to Tamara here at the end. But before we do that, I think is it time for another quiz?
I think it is.
I do too.
I'm excited. They did so good on the last one, I feel. So we're going to talk about boating. We're talking about boating, and and there's 3, as you're well aware, probably there's 3 boating adventures: bear, webelos, and arrow of light. So, and that's can be canoeing, kayaking, or stand-up paddleboarding. So these are super fun. Oh my goodness, my kids love these things. So they'd be super excited about these adventures.
Yeah, I love that stand-up paddleboarding is one of them. I feel like as a kid, I never heard or saw anybody doing it. Now it's like everywhere. So It's cool to see it as part of our program.
Exactly. Okay, so now the quiz.
Here we go. Okay, for the 3 boating adventures, what training is required for adults? Safe swim defense, BSA lifeguard, CAI, safety afloat, BSA aquatic supervision, guide to safe scouting, memorized. Ooh.
All 44 pages.
Okay, let us know. Comment with your letter selection for the 3 boating adventures. What training was required? Kristen says A, D, and B. Interesting. Jamie says D. Elizabeth's just happy to be here. So excited for these new adventures. Rusty says D. Okay, we're seeing a trend. We need a few more votes out there so that we can get kind of a general consensus from the crowd, I think. Take your vote. Put your letter vote in the comments. Hit enter. Richard says D. It's looking like the audience is going with D.
They're so smart. I love these guys. Yeah, it's Safety Afloat, and that's just a 30-minute quick video. It's really, really good. So that's the only one. I know some people said maybe Safe Swim Defense. So Safe Swim Defense, the guidelines, if you're going to go swimming in conjunction with this, like your outing, then you want to follow those guidelines. And so we're going to actually take a look at more in depth of the at the safety moment for this as well. So we can take a look at a little more in depth. But
before we do that, are you okay with me throwing in the swimming question at you since we're about to?
I may, and if I don't have the answer, Gina,
that's okay.
I will totally get back to you guys.
That's okay. I actually think our viewers have answered it in the comments, and I'll read that. But the great news about our Cub Scout team is you can put comments or questions in the comments, and if we don't know the answers, this committee is very dedicated to getting in there and giving you all answers. Carrie is looking for help with swimming safety. Where can we swim without special certification? What certification is required to take the kids swimming on my own or let them swim in my backyard pool?
So you said people have answered this in the question. So
yes. And also my instinctual answer to that is there's not anything you can do without a special certification in scouting. Now, regulating your own life, that's your own time, your own whatever. But in the program, there's training that's required, like Safe Swim Defense, for all of our adult leaders who are going to be around kids swimming, I believe. And so Jamie says, Carrie, take the Safe Swim Defense training. And I think that would answer your questions as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. And then if you're going to be outside, obviously you want the hazardous weather training is excellent. So I love our online training. Like sometimes when you're forced to take training, you're like, oh, this is but these are so good. I'm so impressed always with the quality of our training.
Well, and don't get confused. Now it's possible we have a brand new parent watching. It doesn't mean that's the only training you have to take to participate in the program. Right. There's still youth protection training. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to take Safe Swim Defense and that's all I've got to take and I can take all these kids that are scout swimming. That's not how it works. But anyway, right now, we're talking about boating. We were going to look at that safety moment.
Exactly. Well, see, I think we have one more question.
Oh, we do? One more? Sorry.
I think we have one more question. No, that's okay.
We got another quiz. Ooh. Okay. For boating adventures, what is the ratio of adults to Cub Scouts needed? Okay, those of you who've taken the training, you know. Answer with your letter answer. Is it 1 adult for 20 Cub Scouts? 1 adult for 2 Cub Scouts? 2 adults for each Cub Scout? 1 adult for 10 Cub Scouts? 1 adult for 15 Cub Scouts? 1 adult for 5 Cub Scouts? 2 adults for each Cub Scout now.
So I have seen some dens that need that. But
yeah, I believe that sometimes the youth demand it, but also, wow, that's a lot of good volunteers. Okay, we're getting a lot of mixed answers on this one.
Okay, this will be good.
Well, not everyone's taken the training. They probably never, some of these folks have not taken Scouts boating. Maybe they will. Kristen says D, Jamie says F, Joey says E. We all know I think we know it's not C. But again,
kind of funny.
I wouldn't want to take my kids swimming without 2 adults there. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
Gwen says 2 caffeinated adults per adult who hasn't had coffee. Totally agree.
I love that, Gwen. That's hysterical.
I absolutely agree with you, Gwen. Honestly, I don't know the answer to this one.
Okay, well,
you stumped us. You stumped us.
So it is F.
Maybe F. Okay.
Yeah, it's F. And I say this, and that's like the minimum required, because I will mention that I've worked with dens where I've had, this scout always wanders off, or, these kids have a hard time focusing. And and that's part of that supervision and that assessment, you have to assess your own den, the kids in your den, and then come up with what makes sense to keep everyone safe.
We're looking at a wide range of ages too. There's a big difference, but by the time they're weeblos, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So you really have to do that and really assess your own den.
Right.
So that's excellent. They're so smart, I tell you.
You actually taught us that one, most of us.
So then we're going to look at a little safety moment. This one is from Bears Afloat. And the thing is, so I've seen a couple questions that have come. That's the minimum ratio. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. Minimum ratio. You might need more.
Gwen's on her coffee, I think.
So in this, you'll see that there's a bunch of things. We need to have supervision by an adult that's 21 or older, who's trained in safety afloat, and you have to have a leader who is first aid. I always recommend that someone that's going along with kind of everything is first aid CPR trained. That's just a good thing to have. And then obviously any swimming done in conjunction with the activity needs that BSA safe swim defense standards. So the other thing I would say, it talks about other things, but you see how everything's in here. And then it also has, during the adventure, you're going to go over these ideas with your scouts so they understand what we're doing. So a couple of things on this that I've seen on some boards, and I love it. You guys are so helpful on the different Facebook groups that I've seen where y'all are helping each other out. And I love that about our community. I think you guys are just the best. I've heard a lot of things about how, in our current standards, which have not changed, a non-swimmer can ride in a boat. They have to have the right safety equipment, right? And they have to be with somebody who is a swimmer. So you can't put a non-swimmer into a boat and say, okay, bon voyage, and off you go, because that would be very dangerous, right? So that's not allowed. So when you talk about working on the boating adventures, one of the other things I saw that was consistently coming up is people were asking, can a non-swimmer complete a boating adventure? And the answer is no, because in order to so first of all, the requirement in each of the boating adventures, the first requirement is to pass the swim test. But the reason why that is, it's not to be mean, it's because you have to be able to self-navigate the boat. So if you're not a swimmer, then you would have to have someone in the boat with you. So that's why that is. So I just want to be really clear. Maybe it wasn't clear. Maybe it made it.
You were clear, but I want to ask a point of clarification. When we say non-swimmer, are we talking about the scout or the scouter? Or the scouting volunteer?
Yeah, I was specifically talking about scouts, right?
Right.
So
the same would be true probably for the volunteer.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Because we want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to return. We don't want to have any incidents, right? Which is what this all is about. It's about keeping each other safe.
No, you were perfectly clear. Thank you for that clarification. You've got a fan here because the time flies by with you. I cannot believe that we're nearing our last little bit here. Ben says, way to go, Tamara, representing Chester County Council BSA.
Woo-hoo. Ben, he's my super scout.
Someone named, I'm sure this is the real name, or this person's real name, Cowboy Bigfoot. Just got all my training for Cubs. Thanks for the video you made a time ago. Can't wait for the pack to start up again. Very exciting.
I'm excited for you. That's awesome.
What I think I've hit, I don't know, something that an epiphany I've just had as we're talking about safety training. Not that it's my first conversation talking about training. We still rely on our volunteers to be critical thinkers. These trainings are not just, this is what you do, just follow the rules and that's that. Absolutely follow the rules. But as we were talking about assessing how many adults you need per youth on a boating adventure, you have to use your brain and what you know about the scouts and what you know about the situation and behaviors. So I think that's unique and pretty cool about our programs.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I know, I think that kind of covers the basic stuff that I had seen on the boards, and maybe and I'm glad everyone's getting a lot out of it. So I guess we can move on to knife safety.
Yes, let's talk about knife safety. Shout out to Tamara for being out there looking at everyone's comments and questions, and a big shout out for the committee. The Cub Scout committee should get a round of applause because they listen and answer. And so, yes, let's talk knives. It's everyone's favorite topic in Cub Scouts.
It is. So I know there's been a lot of talk on the boards about the woodland chip. It's retired and people are sad. So let me reiterate. So every year, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, an elective adventure that you can choose to do is knife safety. Knife safety, we feel it's important that you constantly are reiterating these skills. Much like YPT now is every year, we recertify on CPR and first aid. It's important that we reinforce these skills. And every year, these skills are being added on to. So it's not the same old thing that you learned when you go through 3rd grade as you're going to get in the chef's knife in 4th grade. It's different. And we're trying to build these skills that people are going to have for a lifetime. So of course, the knife that you're probably going to need for a lifetime, at least I hope you are, is your chef's knife. So a lot of the skills in that particular level are really awesome. And we've got some tools that I'm super excited to share with you about those. So you are going to have an adventure pocket card. And because some people were asking, well, how would we know if they completed without the whittling chip? Like, how do we know? Well, that adventure pocket card, they could pop that in their pocket as proof that they've completed the adventure and have the privilege of using a knife. And they do need to re-earn this knife safety adventure every year.
Yes, I'm glad you hit on that. Gwen likes that. I totally agree. The idea of a yearly refresh is awesome. And I wish I had this. I wish I had that as a kid, because it's not as easy to learn or perfect a skill as an adult. And I do not use a knife the right way in the kitchen. I know that. And I try to correct myself, but if I want to go fast, I start doing it wrong. And just, it wouldn't be that way if I had
a Band-Aid. That's not what we want. No.
Not yet, but I've seen that happen to my mom.
So I think we have some more questions.
Yes, it's quiz time. This is the fun one.
Okay,
everybody. We have a few minutes left, but we've got another quiz question for you. What famous person is the voice of the Knife Safety Adventures Den Meeting resource video? Ashton Kutcher, Bear Grylls, Gina, Mila Kunis,
my favorite.
Aaron on Scouting. Wow, we both got to be on here. Or Anthony Berger. Well, I can tell you C and E, and sorry, Anthony, but F. We are not famous. Literally no one knows. So that's one hint. Guys, do you know, and girls, do you know A, B, C, D, E, or F? Let us know in the comments. Let's get a couple commenters coming in here. Let's get a little consensus. I'm seeing a B. Richard knows. A, that would be cool too.
I love that our people know that why Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, they have kids in scouting right now in Cub Scouts. And Ashton's an Eagle Scout. Wouldn't it'd be awesome.
I would love to hear his voice on the training.
Let's get Ashton there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's huge in the UK.
I think if people are tied between A and B, but I think maybe a little leaning towards B.
Okay, so Gina kind of led you in the wrong way because it is actually F. It's Anthony. He's famous. He's always
true. No, that's true. That's totally true. He is a famous person. You're right.
He's famous.
Yeah, okay, so I made that a trick question for everybody. You're right.
Our last quiz question is...
Okay, who do we partner with to create the 4 knife safety rules? Martha Stewart, American Knife and Tool Safety Institute, Swiss Knife Company, Gordon Ramsay, A.J. Russell, Academy of ER Doctors. I don't know the answer to this. I have a couple guesses here, but I mean, you can limit it down, but what do you all think? B? I think that's a good guess. Let's see what else. What other people think? I see another B, a C, a C. Ooh, yeah. See, that's where I'm kind of stuck between.
F would be good though. Yeah,
I had the same thought, Gwen.
You're cracking me up, Gwen.
She's on it today. Yep.
She is. Gwen.
Okay, we don't know. We're torn on this one.
Okay, so
I don't know either.
Yeah, so it's B, American Knife and Tool Institute. They're considered one of the leaders in knife safety. So we're always really excited when we get to partner with somebody that's so awesome in their field. And the next slide is going to tell us a little bit about the Woodland chip. I just pulled one of the knife safety adventures so you could sort of see the safety moment for that. And again, it talks about watching the Cub Scouts knife safety adventures video that Anthony is fabulous in, of course.
He is. He is a great voiceover artist. That's the thing.
He really does.
You don't get the
got a little accent going, but it's like really, he's very good. He's just really good. I love
accent. What accent?
He's a little bit Southern accent, which you probably don't notice that because you're from the South, right?
Okay.
But it's really charming. I like it. So, so you're going to confirm that your meeting location allows pocket knives because sometimes schools don't allow you to bring in knives into your school. So you just need to be aware of that. And then you're going to know the Cub Scout 4 knife safety rules, which is stop, So you're going to make sure that nobody's within arm's reach of you, right? So you've got a nice big clear area around you. You're going to go away from yourself, away from your fingers, away from your body. You're going to make sure your knife is sharp and clean, because we know that a sharp, clean knife is going to be the safest knife you can use. And then storing it, you're going to have a knives closed. If it's a pocket knife, or it's going to be in a sheath or in a knife block. So those are kind of our 4 basic rules. You're obviously going to want to have plenty of supervision. Again, know your den. Knives are something that you could really struggle with, from a safety perspective without the right supervision. So our next thing I wanted to point out, which I'm really excited about, and I hope
I have one quick knife question to throw at you from the comments. And also just to say, again, I wish that everyone learned these things. How many of us see people cutting towards themselves all the time, every time?
Oh, I know.
It's the worst. I love to remind my husband to cut away from himself. John says, did the current knife certification end June 1st every year until it's re-earned?
Yes. So when you rank up, you need to recertify. So a lot of people are talking about, you could do this at camp, right? Or you could do this, in the summer. You may have to, if you've got people coming in the fall and you want them to re-earn it, maybe on a camp out, or when you're doing another outdoor thing, you may have to redo it. But so that's super important. Yeah. Thank you for asking that question.
Okay, we've got our last slide. I know.
The last one. I'm trying to get us through because Brian's probably got stuff to go do.
You're the famous person here, Tamara.
No, not at all. Okay, so the last thing is this really awesome Cub Scout Knife Safety Adventures Den Meeting Resource video. This is the QR code that will take you directly to that video. I gotta tell you, this is like some really great work. I watched it yesterday again, and it's just, thank you for putting that. Thank you for putting the Vimeo link on there. So it talks through the BSA safe checklist. Anthony goes through each of those points with you, so you know what you're looking for, you know what you're supposed to be doing. He goes over all of the 4 safety rules, why those are important. He reminds you that if you're not comfortable teaching this, so knife safety is an interesting one. A lot of people don't feel very comfortable teaching knife safety. They feel like, well, I don't really know how to whittle. Anthony teaches you how. He teaches you 3 knife cuts and how to do this. Isn't that awesome? Like you said, I don't know how to chop, dice, or mince, which is what you have to do in chef's knife. No worries. Anthony Berger is going to teach you how. In this video, he shows you how to do this, exactly how to do it, how to he calls it the claw hand, how you're supposed to hold the vegetable. I mean, everything. So this is so, so good. He also reminds you that you don't have to be the one that teaches knife safety. Grab your, some people from your local Scouts BSA troop. They probably love to come in and help teach knife safety. Talk to some of your other leaders. They may be very comfortable, right? Helping you.
Very likely somebody's very good at using a knife.
Exactly. So, but anyway, this video will make you feel so confident as a leader, because it takes you through even how to sharpen. One of the points of these things is, how do you sharpen your knife? And he shows you how to use a whetstone. Do you know how to use a whetstone, Gina?
I don't know how to use a whetstone.
You will after you watch this video.
I've got to hear Anthony's voice.
It's so good. It's so good, this video. He also reminds us that Cub Scouts can't throw axes and use hatchets. So remember that. But he takes you through all of this in a really nice way. And again, all of these things are meant to be fun, simple, and easy, with the safety baked in, so that it's just in your line of sight. It becomes old hat. If you're going to do something more extraordinary than just in your normal meeting place, it gives you some stuff to consider and some tools and tricks.
Yeah, the knife safety stuff is very fun. Do you have time for one question from me?
Sure.
When I had started working at Boy Scouts of America for a while, I saw, back eons ago, I remember seeing the term blood circle at some point. Yeah. I see everybody commenting, and I remember like, what is that? Why do we, go? And then when I learned what it was, I was like, okay, I understand what it is. And I also see safety circle used. Do we say that anymore? That's not the term necessarily we use.
No, we've kind of gone away from that. So I mean,
I can't imagine why.
I mean, it was pretty dramatic to call it that, but
right.
I got away from that.
Okay, so that's a great clarification. So Tamara was actually talking about what I think some of you are referring to in the comments when you're saying that, you know, that idea, make sure you're a safe distance from everyone around you.
Exactly.
I just think that that's so funny because I remember the day that I learned that. And then I was like, no one's saying that though, but the people online are. So very funny. Tamara, is there anything we've missed? Anything else you want to highlight before we let you go?
I don't think so. I just want to thank you again, like for having the best audience ever. They're always so smart and so amazing. And every time we am on here, I'm always thinking, I wish we could get together. I wish I could meet all these guys, right?
I know, it's so true, but we are together. We're together online. If you're a regular viewer or new viewer, we are so glad that you're here today. If you have questions, comments, leave those in the comment section wherever you're watching. Our Cub Scout committee is very dedicated. They do read these comments. And also you're amongst many knowledgeable scouters who will often answer your questions within the comments. Today's video will remain wherever you're watching it after we're live. So you'll be able to share it, tag folks in the comments who you think might have some interest in this. You can watch past episodes of Cub Chat Live at scoutingmagazine.org/Cub Chat Live. This was a fun episode. The time flies with you, Tamara. Come back.
I feel the same way. And with your audience, they're so funny. I'm like ready to go get a coffee now after Quinn's comment. Yeah.
I know. It made me want some caffeine myself. So, okay. Well, we'll hopefully see you soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time today, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to catch next week's episode. Same time, same place. And let us know how we're doing at go.scoutingmagazine.org/rate-cubchat. We love feedback and ideas for new episodes. And you can visit blog.scoutingmagazine.org/cubchatlive for all our past video episodes. You can see us live. Except it's recorded, but it was live. Okay, see you next week.